Barbara Kuriger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This government has done some pretty good things, but nature is not something. Nature is not something that we can control, Mr. Mark. And so if you think that this government was responsible for delivering myrtle rust, you better think again. But what I would like to say is while we can't control nature, what we can do is invest in infrastructure. And in our infrastructure program, we're looking at things like irrigation. And irrigation is not just for the farmers, although it's extremely helpful when it comes to certain weather conditions, but it's also really good water storage for towns, and irrigation can be extremely beneficial when it comes to filling up rivers and lakes during dry periods. It has an environmental content to it. So while we can't fight nature, we can put some things in place infrastructure-wise, and Mr. Mark, I hope when we decide on some of these projects that you might see your way forward to supporting that. So New Zealand is growing faster than we have for a very long time, and I can't speak loud today, but I'll be able to do it for 5 minutes, because we are adding more jobs across the country, but to keep growing, we do need to invest in more infrastructure. And I can think of quite a number of examples just in my own electorate. So at the moment we've got consultation going on, final stages of consultation for Mount Messenger. So recently Minister Bridges came out and he put the green light on the Arukino Tunnel bypass. Mount Messenger is almost to the point where an announcement can be made. And there's really big excitement, not only in the Taranaki end of the electorate, but up in the Waikato, because that road's going to open up. It's going to open up for produce, it's going to open up for tourism, and it's going to make a big difference to the lives of people that live along that stretch of highway. Now, secondly, when it comes to infrastructure, 151 towns have been identified for the next stage of ultra-fast broadband, and 12 of those in my electorate. And I can actually say that those towns are getting pretty excited about having that infrastructure, and the more remote parts of the electorate are looking forward to the announcement on RBI, because what's critical is that infrastructure to productivity, to health and safety, to getting young people who can come and live out in our electorates, take their mobile phones out of their pockets and not just make phone calls, but actually be able to get the data to do their jobs, to work with apps. So I think it's pretty critical. I've also got another big project which is about to begin in my electorate, and that is Waikeria Prison. And while somebody might think that Waikeria Prison or prison itself is not an exciting piece of infrastructure, I visited that prison recently and I saw people in there, doing the baking, making the sausage rolls, doing the farming. There was inmates who actually are training to be baristas. They're going to cater for the tradespeople. And I think what I'm really excited about is we're actually going to have a trade training centre in there, and it's going to equip people that when they come out, there's more opportunities for them. So I saw people doing driver's licence testing. I saw them on the internet looking for their support services. I saw a heap of things, and our employers are much more prepared to take on work-ready people who have come from corrections. And so there's a huge amount of infrastructure going on, and I know Minister Bridges has touched on roading, but I also was out the other day on the Forgotten Highway, and I know Ian McKelvey's very excited because all of the tourism infrastructure around Ruapehu, around the Forgotten Highway, around the ski fields. I have to commend the Ruapehu District Council for partnering with government and putting in applications around infrastructure for tourism, because it's quite a remote part of the country, but I have to say it's probably one of the biggest investments Ian's had in his electorate, and it flows into mine around Ohura, etc. We're very excited that some of those facilities are going to be there for those people who want to visit the more remote parts of our country, because when you look out along that forgotten highway, places like Ohura, Wangamomina, areas like that that I represent, tourism is their lifeline. The Tourism Infrastructure Partnership is really helping that, and Mr Speaker, I'm proud of the infrastructure that this government is delivering. Thank you.
Gareth Hughes.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker.